Hello everyone and welcome, or welcome back if it's not your first time here, to the Library of Phoebe. Another month has come and gone and oh my gosh, 2025 still has not been treating me the way I would like to be treated, but I did get some good reading done this month, so I am happy at least with my reading life. I even read from my TBR, which if you're not familiar with me already is pretty hit and miss. Some months I read my entire set TBR, some months I don't read any of it. And Pete's here to say hi and help us with the video. It's already time to do the March TBR. So I have got the prompt jar ready and my iPad loaded up with Storygraph, and I've got a special little surprise because I think I'm going to start doing something a little bit different with the TBR in addition to adding my monthly book club pick to the TBR. So without further ado, we're gonna do 5 pulls from the prompt jar. I know what you're thinking, it's different, but once we get to the end, I'll tell you why. Let's go for the first one. See what it is. Ooh, a fast pace read. Okay, I'm loading up my TBR pile on Storygraph. I'm going to filter by pace. I think we're gonna start with a little black classic this month. There it is. And it is Antigone by Sophocles. I'll read here. It says, "The tragedy of Oedipus's daughter, a wise, fearless heroine who shunned society's laws, from the master Greek dramatist." I've been in the mood for another Greek drama, Greek play, so I think this one will be good. Really short to start off with, but this is one I'm really excited for. I think it'll be good. Oh, translated by Robert Fagles, who has translated the version of the Iliad, which I read. That will be pick number 1. Pick number 2 out of 5. Let's go with this prompt. Brown. I think that means to me brown on the cover. I have like a pile of books here that I really want to get on the TBR. None of those really work. I think this counts as brown. I'm gonna say what the hell and put another play on this TBR. So this play has been on one of my past TBRs, which is a hint for where we're going with the 6th pick, which is normally from the TBR jar. But I think I'm going to put The Importance of Being Earnest, which is just a little play from this collection, on the TBR. It is a play, I've never read it or seen it adapted, but I'm pretty sure this is a play about 2 guys who think the name Ernest is super cool, and so they pretend to be named Ernest to impress some ladies. I might be a little off on that. That's what I think it's about, which sounds super funny, so we'll add that. Pick number 3. We're at the midway point. Let's go with this one here. We're getting pretty sparse on the yellow. We're getting pretty sparse on the prompts, so if you have any in mind, please comment them. I would love to spruce up the prompts again a bit. It's called Meet Me in the Bathroom, Rebirth and Rock and Roll in New York City, 2001 to 2011. So it says here, from the clubs of New York's Lower East Side to the warehouses of Williamsburg, a time that changed music and the city forever. As the 20th century drew to a close, New York City felt played out as a cultural capital. A flood of new money had turned downtown into a museum of what used to be cool, a playground for bankers and the dot-com crowd. If you wanted the rock and roll life, New York was the last place you'd move. And yet, in the decade that followed, it would serve as the stage for a radical pop culture renaissance. How exactly did this happen? In this riveting oral history told by those who were actually there, playing the music, pouring the drinks, signing the checks, and writing the cover stories, journalist Lizzy Goodman chronicles the rebirth of New York's rock. In the early 2000s, the Strokes, Yeah Yeah Yeahs, Interpol, the Moldy Peaches, LCD Sound System, and others who have been honing their craft in obscurity suddenly become reflections of a new, flush, newly booming town determined to recover from the devastation of September 11th. As kids around the world began to dress like they'd been thrifting on Avenue A, it became clear that New York had not only reclaimed its signature rock and roll swagger, but had also exported this new incarnation of American cool globally. A second generation was eagerly waiting in the wings. Franz Ferdinand, the Killers, the Kings of Leon, and who'd all but given up on breaking out of their provincial corners of the world, got the message that rock was back and used grotty New York clubs as launching pads on their way to selling out arenas around the world. Meet Me in the Bathroom explores how during this era, the music industry was dismantled and then reborn via technology, first by Napster and later iTunes, and how traditional publications like Rolling Stone and Spin were pushed to compete with evangelist bloggers typing feverishly in their underwear, as well as with edgier journalistic upstarts like Vice and Pitchfork. Meanwhile, as the reshaping of the city, technological, aesthetic, cultural, and physical, spread from downtown Manhattan to Williamsburg, Brooklyn, bands like MGMT, Vampire Weekend, TV on the Radio, Grizzly Bear, the Dirty Projectors became the new stars, remaking the idea of New York in their own nerdy image and helping ensure I Heart Brooklyn become the mantra of the new generation. Crafted from nearly 200 original interviews and curated by a writer who remembers the hangovers herself, Meet Me in the Bathroom follows in the great tradition of the beloved classic Please Kill Me by Legs McNeil and Gillian MacLaine, charting the first decade of the 2000s in all its epic, reckless glory. Here's a brilliant portrait of a city, an industry, and a generation on the verge of seismic change. So that is Meet Me in the Bathroom. I have started it already. I'm on page 209, and which is chapter 31. It's really good so far. I'm really enjoying it. It's nice to kind of just pick up and read a chapter or two to kind of get like that taste of what New York was like at the moment, the indiness, all of that, and kind of just like learn some scene history, which I love to do. It's really well done. It's composed completely of interviews, like different quotes spliced together, which is really interesting. 2 more prompts. I still have a book club pick to try to get on here, so hopefully one of these will work for that. Let's go with this prompt. 300 to 400 pages. Book club pick does not work, it's too short. Ooh, I think I know which one I'm gonna go with. So, Anne of Green Gables is 350 pages in this edition, and I think March will be the time when this type of story starts to feel seasonally appropriate for me, and I really want to get into reading Anne of Green Gables. I might try to read the entire series because I think I own the entire series this year. So March I can start with the first. I have read this series before, but it was when I was a kid, so I kind of just want to revisit as an adult. It smells really good. And I'll read the back here for you. It says, Anne of Green Gables. When Marilla and Matthew Cuthbert decide to adopt a boy from an orphanage, they are not sure what to expect. They are in for a surprise when an adventurous, imaginative, red-haired little girl arrives at Green Gables instead. Follow Anne's adventures on Prince Edward Island in the first of Lucy Maud Montgomery's much-loved stories, filled with mischief, romance, and friendship. This classic book is sure to delight readers of all ages. Yeah, super excited to dive into this one. I think it'll help me get rid of these winter blues and start feeling a spring in my step again, if you will. I love the TV series Anne with an E, so maybe I'll rewatch that too. Anne of Green Gables is our 4th pick. So we have one more from the jar. Hopefully that means I can get the book club pick on here. Nerve-wracking. And then we have one special surprise at the end for something new that I want to do for the TBR. Okay, let's go with this one. Starts with a W. That does not work for the book club pick. This could be author name or book title. This one is a recent acquisition, and I think it is what we'll go with because William Burroughs, that's a W, and I've so far read 2 of William Burroughs' novels this year, and This is the next one on the list that I want to read. It is with Allen Ginsberg, the Yage letters. Sorry, my cat's like freaking out in the background. I don't know why. He's always freaking out when I'm filming. I don't know why. Maybe he thinks I'm talking to him. William Burroughs closed his classic debut novel, Junkie, by saying he had determined to search out a drug he called yage, which he believed transmitted telepathic powers, a drug that could be the final fix. In the Yage letters, a mix of travel writing, satire, psychedelia, and epistolatory novel, he journeys through South America, writing to his friend Allen Ginsberg about his experiments with the strange drug and using it to travel through time and space and derange his senses. The perfect drug for the author of the wilde, decentered books and cut-ups that followed. Years later, Ginsberg writes back as he follows in Burroughs' footsteps and finds the drug more terrible and profound than he had imagined. So super excited to dive back into the world of William Burroughs. I will be adding the Yage letters as book number 5 to the TBR. And now the thing that I want to do that's kind of new for this month. I have collected a list of all the books that I've added to previous TBRs but have not read. Because I don't want to punish myself for not reading things that happen to be on my monthly TBRs, but I do want to get to all of these things. So I thought a good way to do that would be to just every month do a random number generator and pick one of these. Right now there's 15 on here, and I think if I add a book more than once to my TBR, I'm gonna add it to this list more than once so it has more likelihood of coming up and more likelihood of me reading it. I am going to ask Siri for a number. Pick a number between 1 and 15.
That would be 6.
So she gave me the number 6. I hope you can see that. And oh my gosh. Book number 6 is The Odyssey by Homer. So you guys know I'm not lying because I don't think I would put The Odyssey by Homer on here just randomly of my own accord. This was one I really wanted to read in December and I didn't get to it. So adding it to this month's TBR, I guess we will be doing that. So The Odyssey by Homer, if you do not know, is an epic poem and it follows Odysseus. This is actually good because I do want to read it before the Christopher Nolan movie comes out, so hopefully this will work. So it says, if the Iliad is the world's greatest war epic, then the Odyssey is literature's grandest evocation of every man's journey through life. Odysseus' reliance on his wit and willingness for survival in his encounters with the divine and natural forces during his 10-year voyage home to Ithaca after the Trojan War is at once the timeless human story and an individual test of moral endurance. In the myths and legends that are retold here, Fagles has captured the energy and poetry of Homer's original in a bold contemporary idiom and has given us an Odyssey to read aloud, to savor, and to treasure for its sheer lyrical mastery. I'm hopeful that I will because I really enjoyed the Iliad and it's one that I think about all the time, and I'm not much of a on battlefield war story type person, so I think the Odyssey would be even more up my alley. Who knows? But we're adding it to this list. And then since I couldn't fit my monthly book club pick on, I'll just tell you what it is here. It is The Door by Magda, szabo. And this is a super anticipated read for me. It's one I want to read so bad. It's translated from the Hungarian by Len Ricks. And this is like an NYRB edition. So it says here, The Door is an unsettling exploration of the relationship between two very different women. Magda is a writer, educated, married to an academic, public-spirited, with an on-again, off-again relationship to Hungary's communist authorities. Emmerance is a peasant, illiterate, impassive, abrupt, and seemingly ageless. She lives alone in a house that no one may enter, not even her closest relatives. She is Magda's housekeeper, and she has taken over Magda's household, becoming indispensable to her. And Emmerance, in her way, has come to depend on Magda. They share a kind of love, at least until Magda's long-sought success as a writer leads to a devastating revelation. This one will for sure be getting read. This is a thick TBR for this month. And here it is. The March TBR has 7 components. We have Meet Me in the Bathroom by Lizzy Goodman for yellow on the cover, The Odyssey by Homer for a book I didn't read off one of my past monthly TBRs, Anne of Green Gables for in between 300 and 400 pages, The Yage Letters by William Burroughs and Allen Ginsberg for author who starts with W, William. And then we have The Door by Magda Szabo for my book club pick, The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde for brown on the cover, and Sophocles' Antigone for a fast-paced read. Oh my gosh. Who knows if I can get through all of these, but that's okay. I don't read for completion. I read to, I think that's a sign to put down the books. I read to enjoy what I am reading, and I think I will enjoy every single one of these. So, super excited to get on with my March reading. If you have any prompts, please let me know them down below. Look how low we're running. I'm gonna have to go through my prompts, my used prompts, because I don't reuse prompts that often. Once the jar is getting really sparse, I will replenish it with prompts that I have already used. But if you have any new ones, I would love to replenish the jar with new prompts. So comment any of those down below. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to see more, I think at the end of March. So probably will be posted during April. I'm gonna do a bit of a reading wrap up for the year so far. And I also have a book haul coming soon. I'm saving a lot of the books I purchased. I'm like noting them down so I can do a really big book haul for maybe like the first third of the year, first quarter, first half of the year. Depends how much I accumulate in that time, just so I can, I don't want to buy, just to make a YouTube video, but I do want to show you guys what I have been purchasing. So that is coming soon too. Subscribe because you don't want to miss those. And I do these fun little TBR jar videos every month too. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time on the Library of Phoebe.